Getting love over there too because we're playing your spot during the show.
Are you guys doing it now? Is it live?
It's not live right now. It's last week's show being played today. Okay, we're on.
Okay.
Well, welcome to the Real Estate Report, Northern California's #1 real estate radio show. My name is Robert Lewis, and I hope you are having a wonderful weekend. And this show, the Real Estate Report, is your destination to get the latest news, advice, and insight on the real estate market. And Brent and I are not just radio hosts. We like to let you know that we are very active realtors that help our clients and listeners just like you every single day. And whether it's getting your best deal on a home through our Dream Home Finder program and helping you to actually move into that home in as little as 10 days. Or if you're a seller and you want to sell for top dollar, we have something called our EXP VIP Platinum Home Selling Strategy. And that strategy exposes your home to more buyers than anyone else, and we can help you. So we have an incredible real estate report show for you today. First off, we have one of our good friends, Chris Arola. He's the owner and award-winning owner of RentPros Property Management. Glad that you're here with us today, Chris.
Good to be here. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So glad. And then we also have Michael Fowler, who is the proud director of something called the California Home Buyer Advantage Program. And we're going to get to that a little bit later in the show, and you're going to be shocked what we have to show, right?
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. So before we get into our topics today, if you'd like to be a part of the show, because this is a live interactive show, you can give us a call here at the studio, 1-800-834-1530. That's 1-800-834-1530 if you're out of the area. If you're local, 921-1530. That's 921-1530. And as always, before, during, and after the show, if you want to get a hold of us, you can call the Real Estate Report hotline number. That's 916-269-3337. That's 916-269-3337. That's also the number to text us your questions. So once again, 916-269-3337. So we've got Chris Arola here, and for those of you that don't know Chris, he is a property manager, and he has a company called RentPros Property Management, and they are an award-winning company. They've been voted by their peers as the #1 property management company in the greater Sacramento Valley for like the last 100 years, pretty much. But it's the last 5 for sure, right?
It's the last 5. We're shooting for 100. We're working on it.
Yeah, so I mean, so you guys are obviously doing a great job.
Well, we think so, and a lot of our clients think so, and yeah, we like to operate that way.
So let's jump into now. You wanted to talk today to start off about some free. You want to give away some free stuff.
Well,
some free stuff for landlords.
Let me clarify for you. I am the CEO of RentPros Property Management. Now, RentPros, I always talk about our property management division, but also I'm the president of the Rental Owners Association. And Rental Owners Association is a group that's formed to essentially be a resource for a lot of do-it-yourself landlords, landlords who also work with property management companies, people thinking about becoming a landlord. And so, as a consequence, the Rental Owners Association offers a lot of freebies for landlords that are just getting started, that need a little help now and then. If you're really going to get into some of our services, there's a very small fee for that. And by the way, I want to mention that we are streaming live today on our Facebook page. So if you have that app called Facebook, go to Rental Owners Association, Northern California. And you can actually watch us live. We'll wave to you and click in there, and we'll see who that you're there.
Is that the Facebook or just Facebook? Because that's something new to me. I'm just kidding. So they go to Facebook and they go to what page again?
Rental Owners Association. You got to spell it all out.
Rental Owners Association.
Yeah, and there's a number of those throughout the country, but we're the best, of course. And
Of course.
and of course we're the most useful because for our listeners because we're local, and so that's Northern California. So Rental Owners Association, Northern California. If you have any trouble finding it, it's really you just go to rentpros.com and click. You'll see our association there. And be able to go. I believe you can click right on the like from that page. I'm not a big tech guy, but you'll find it. All right. And
but you utilize technology very well. So that's good.
I have guys who do tech for me.
So let's talk about some of this free stuff. I mean, you've got some. I mean, this is literally if you are a landlord or you want to be a landlord. This is some great stuff that doesn't cost you anything.
Exactly.
You can learn.
So one of the services that's very popular is our free tenant screening. So if you're a landlord and you have a property that's vacant, you got to find a new tenant. You're gonna probably want to screen that tenant, check out their credit, make sure that they pay their bills on time, see if they owe their previous landlord some money, all that kind of stuff. And that's a free service that you can get right to our website. You just go to Rent Pros and click on Rental Owners Association. You don't have to be a member of our association to have that service. By the way, membership is $129 a year, but you don't have to do that. That service is free. We have lots of free classes. In fact, I want to draw your attention, Rob, to 2 free classes we have coming up in August.
I have the flyer right here.
You got the flyer
Yes.
right there? Good. And our first one is on August 15th at 6 p.m. out in Roseville at our headquarters. And that's what we call our monthly mixer. So on August mixer, right there in the middle of the month, is going to be our in-house attorney, Thomas Hogan. So if you've got legal questions, don't ask me. I'm not an attorney. But our attorney will be there. We'll be able to answer your questions. He has a little presentation about some recent laws and such. It's all free. In fact, I think, well, no, I can promise, and you asked for this, Rob, some snacks. We're going to have snacks and drinks out there.
Very good.
We'll have cheese puffs. I think that's what you said you do.
I like Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
Cheese puffs, anything with cheese.
Send me an email.
That's fine
I'll
with
get
me.
it.
So that's August 15th.
August 15th.
And that's Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Right.
And that is with attorney Thomas Hogan, right?
Right.
Awesome.
Big Bad Tom will be there. And then so we also have another free class. This is a landlord class that maybe sometimes landlords don't think they need to go to. Sometimes they do. Know that they need to attend this. But this is the 5 top mistakes that we keep seeing landlords make over and over and over and over. We're going to talk about what those errors are. We're going to talk about how to avoid those. In fact, we'll talk about some of those today on the air. That's a free class. You do not need to be a member of the Rental Owners Association, but show up 6 o'clock. Go to my website. Go to rentpros.com. Click on the Rental Owners Association, and you'll see all of this there. My tech guy, media guy, web guy, whatever you call him, Mr. Zach has this all set up. It's real easy to sign up and get your spot. We only have about 25 spots available, and I think 4 or 5 of them are already taken. So get in there and get signed up.
And
for you listeners out there, I mean, this is a great opportunity, even if you've just been kind of thinking about wanting to be a landlord or getting into the investment property game.
Yeah.
We run into properties all the time that are perfect for investors.
Yeah.
And sometimes what you can do is you can get Rent Pros to kind of scrub that to see if it's a good deal for you. And then you might take some of their classes, be a part of this Rental Owners Association, and learn. And then you might just want to say, hey, you know what, I want to let you guys manage it, and I'll go on to my next, project. Yeah. And it's affordable, and it's a great way to have some passive income.
Right, you're 100% correct, Rob. And not only do we suggest that people reach out to us before they buy, but we really, really advise that you do that. Maybe we'll talk after the break here a little bit about some examples that I've seen 3 examples this month of where people have purchased, called us out to manage the property, and we looked at it and talked to them and showed them what we could rent it for and all the things that need to be done, and they were so disappointed because they just didn't know before they purchased, and they didn't know about a lot of the regulations, the legal requirements, that things that need to be done to that home before they can rent it. They call me out there, hey, can you start ads today? No, I probably can't start ads for 2 weeks and you got to put about $8,000 into this property. That's not what you want to hear after you've closed escrow.
No, absolutely, and I mean, and that's that's when you start getting in over your head,
Right,
And
yeah.
we've seen people do that. So the best way to do that, to do it the right way, is to avoid those mistakes. So that top 5 landlord mistakes with Q&A, August 29th, 6 to 8 p.m.
Right.
And for more information, just go to rentpros.com and click on the Rental Owners Association tab there.
Rob. There you go.
Fantastic. Well, if you would like to be a part of the show, if you have some questions for Chris or myself, and you'd like to maybe know a little bit more about this mixer that's coming up and some other classes and some of the things we're going to talk about, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call here. Studio lines are open, 1-800-834-1530. That's 1-800-834-1530 or 921-1530. That's 921-1530. And as always, our real estate report hotline for before, during, and after the show, 916-269-3337. That's 916-269-3337. And we'll be back after this.
Traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 10.
Zach?
Yeah, we're still live on Facebook.
thing on?
So.
Can
It's
you
not
tell
right now.
if anyone's
It was on
listening?
though.
Okay, yeah. So try
you
not
tell if
to,
anyone
if
is
your
following
mic's
or
on,
listening or
clear your throat.
Oh.
Yeah,
Right when I did that, I thought,
I heard it a couple times, so
Yeah, so-
no big deal.
Okay.
But just you just got, because when you're not talking, so if you want, you can keep it off and just listen
Right.
this way.
we got all our views.
So so you can kind of see how it goes. So we'll go to the bottom of the hour after the break, or after this break, come out and we'll go into his topics, and then after the bottom of the break, we'll go up to about 15, and then we'll have about like 6 minutes to really just like pound this.
Okay. And so, what's your objective? Are you going to ask me questions? Do you want me to take it?
I think
I'm
that-
just trying to wrap
I think
arms
that,
around
you know,
what I'm going to say.
You know, I mean, I have some of this information, you know, like we, you know, and I got this from your, you know, what you had sent me, and I clicked on the site and stuff. But talking about home ownership builds strong families, strong communities. This is called the California Home Buyers Advantage Program, and this is unique. You're not going to hear this anywhere else. This program.
This is it.
This is us. You're not going to be able to go to somewhere else to get this.
Right.
You're going to have to come through us, and this is amazing because of these things. Mike, tell them. Let's hit some bullet points here, and you know, just the meat of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So when we're talking the meat of it, we're talking you can
Yeah,
buy a
so-
house with no down payment. The
Right.
bank's going to pay the closing costs.
Right.
And those bullets. that's
Yeah,
what
just
you're-
those bullet points, and then you know, and if you and you know, it offers 100% financing. You know, I mean, you know, just all those things to get the phone to ring, and then we'll give them a website several times, calhba.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll also give them I'll do the hotline number, you know, because so we don't get them confused with too many numbers, and then
Right.
anybody that calls, I'll let you know, and I'll say, okay, let me put you in touch with Mike.
Okay.
And we'll just go from there. But just kind of hitting the points on it and say, you know, there's many ways for us to help you with this program, but we're not going to like muddy the water with too much. We're going to just give you the bullet points. But just know that you cannot get this anywhere else. But
Here,
this is
through Cal HBA.
right.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
The here is Cal HBA.
right. And then, so, Senor Chris, so when we come back in, we're going to jump into what to do when tenant says they're moving and those things?
Let's do what to do when things go wrong. That's probably more
Okay.
lively.
So it goes wrong with your rental.
Right.
Cool. All right. Well, welcome back to the Real Estate Report. I'm Robert Lewis, and this is your destination to know what's going on in the real estate market and the rental market. And if you're thinking about being a landlord, you want to listen up because we've got you might be a landlord and you want to listen up because we've got one of the best property management guys in the business here with us today. His name is Chris Arola, and he's a proud owner and CEO of Rent Pros Property Management. And so we're talking about, you have some upcoming classes, and just so you guys know, if you missed that information, just go to rentpros.com. That's rentpros.com, and you can click on the Rental Owners Association tab there to see about their August mixer with an attorney named Thomas Hogan, and also a landlord class of the top 5 landlord mistakes that people make that you don't want to make. Because you don't want to, because usually mistakes to me in this business means you lose money. Wouldn't that be the case for you?
You can, that's right. And
A lot of times,
you can learn
anyway, right?
from somebody else's mistake, or you can learn from your own mistake. It's your choice. So we've made a few of those mistakes. I invest in properties, and I have one that I wonder, why did I buy that property? But the fact is, most of the clients who come into my office are having a problem, usually related to something that, gee, if you would have done this instead of done that, you wouldn't have this problem. So,
Right. Well, we've had
that's what we do.
our clients call you where they've had
all the time,
a
yeah.
big a big issue, or they've been trying to do DIY, do
Right.
it yourself landlord, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
But if you don't know what you're doing, it can get you into a lot of trouble. So this kind of helps us segue into our next topic with you, Chris, is that what do you do when stuff or things go wrong with your rental? And
Right.
so let's talk about some of these things. Like the first thing, I mean, my biggest thing, probably right out of the gate, is what do you do when the tenant doesn't pay you?
Yeah.
I mean, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, and that happens once in a while.
It does.
Yeah, sometimes
I've heard about that.
It comes the 1st of the month, rent is due, 5th is late, and on the 6th you still don't have rent. So, here's the thing. The rental business has changed a lot in the last 3 years, a lot in the last 5 years, and this is almost an unrecognizable business compared to what it was, say, 10 years ago. So if you knew what to do really, really well 10 years ago, unfortunately, the rules have changed a lot. They've been modified, time frames have been changed, the kind of notices that we have to give have changed, and so I had the great honor of being able to speak at an event that the Roseville Housing Authority put on last month and again last week. And we were answering these same kind of questions to landlords who have been managing property themselves for, some of them, 10, 15, 20 years. And now they're asking these questions. And back to your question, Rob, what happens when my tenant doesn't pay rent? Well, there's a number of different types of notices out there. And in that case, we would give the tenant, they don't pay rent, what's called a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit.
So I get it, the 3 days to pay, but what is to quit? Get out of the house?
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah, so the tenant has an option, don't they? They can then come in and make the payment in full. Everything's fine, pay their late fee, and we're off and running. Or they can drop the keys off. I mean, that's the other option. They can just quit, right?
Right.
Now, there may be some obligations in terms of if they're in a lease and that sort of thing, but they can quit. And as a landlord, if somebody's not going to pay you rent, and you're not going to get that, you're going to have to go to court and do the eviction and all that. What you really want is you want your possession back. You want those keys back. You want property back so you can get it back on the road and start making money,
Right.
getting some income going. So when they don't pay rent, you give them a 3-day notice to pay. What do you think we do? Here's a question. I'm going to put you on the spot. Here's a quiz, Rob.
Okay.
What happens if they don't pay? Let's say there's rent to pay and then there's utilities to pay. And they pay the rent, but they didn't pay the utilities. I give them a 3-day notice to...
Pay or quit?
You wish. No, not pay. I got you. Busted. I need some sounds back there from our engineer.
Oh, man, we
You know,
need-
want something. Nothing. Okay.
Well, you kind of...
Led me.
I know,
And I think in a court of law, I'd probably get off on
you probably would.
technicality. But go
So
ahead.
look, like I said, there's multiple different types of notices. In that case, we're going to give a notice for the tenants to comply with the covenants of the contract. So that is to comply. That is, the contract says you need to pay a utility fee or whatever else you have as far as their monthly amount that they need to pay. And if it's not rent, then you need to use that other form. And so often, somebody will come in to do an eviction and they'll go through the process and they've included, for example, utilities and late fees and such on that 3-day notice to pay or quit, to pay rent or quit. And guess what happens when they get to court and the judge discovers that they used the wrong form,
gets thrown
It
out.
gets thrown out on its ear,
Right.
and the landlord gets to start all over again, and that's a frustrating position for people to be in.
And what you said there, it reminds me of a situation that we had not too long ago, where you talked to somebody that was a do-it-yourself
Right.
client of ours,
Mhm.
and they had some situation there that they were not using the right forms.
Right.
And a lot of these tenants, they know what their rights are, and unfortunately, they take advantage of some unsuspecting landlords sometimes.
So here's what happens. They may not know their rights, but it's darn easy for them to find out, because there's a lot of free legal services. I just was speaking at a venue with in conjunction with one of the attorneys from the Northern California Legal Fund, and what they do is they go out and they are a free legal service for tenants who are in any kind of rental trouble issue. Where does the landlord go? You got to pay for it, because
Right.
there's no free service. So that's what the Rental Owners Association is really all about. Most of what we do, Rob, is helping landlords who are, they got to start over and they're not sure what to do, or they have to send a notice and they're not sure which notice to give. More importantly, or in addition to using the right notice, you also have to serve the notice correctly.
Right.
In other words, you can't just, text somebody or email it to them, or, go, give it to their friend or some. There's I'm not going to go through them right now, but there's certain ways. There's basically three choices you have in how to serve that particular notice, and not all the notices require the same type of service. So it sounds complicated, doesn't it? And that's because it is. And so
Right.
if you know the rules, well, it's easy to follow, but you got to know the rules, and that's why we have the Rental Owners Association.
Well, and
Help people follow
it
those
sounds
rules.
pretty glamorous when if you own several rental properties and you're doing it on your own and they're cash cows and you're getting, the rent and everything's good. But when these things go wrong, like let's say the tenant doesn't pay rent,
Yep.
or what if they move in an unauthorized person,
Right,
or maybe they get a couple pit bulls or something.
right. Right.
What do you do then?
So there again, we would use a notice, we would serve a notice, and in that case, we're going to go back to our notice to comply with the covenants of the contract. So if it spells out in the lease agreement that, well, they can't have any pets, and then pets show up, then you use that same notice, that 3-day notice, to comply, not to pay or quit or anything
Right.
like that. It's
So-
a 3-day notice to comply with the covenants. And so that's the notice. Now, if they don't get rid of the pets, then you have to go take the next step. Would be, the ultimate step could be an eviction if
Right.
they didn't follow through and get rid of that.
So what if one day, just in the middle of the night, your tenants just disappear,
Yeah.
like alien abduction, or they just ran out?
Yeah, so that sometimes happens, and it's rare. We're talking about things that are rare, and I'll tell you, and I'll just back up for a second. Of roughly 1,000 properties that we manage, we may do 1-2 evictions a year. So we mostly can avoid them. Most of those are properties I've taken over with tenants in them. So this is rare, but it's worth talking about, because every client I sign up, we have this conversation, because this is a major concern. So in that event, you go out, you didn't get rent, so we go out to the property, we put the notice on, we nail and mail, as they say,
Right.
and we kind of notice that there's not much going on there. Looks kind of
Like a
vacant,
ghost town. huh?
and we might peek through a window or put say, hey, what's going on? So we'll put a 24-hour notice to go in that property and take a look. So again, you have to post that notice property, etc., etc.
Mhm.
And then, if in fact the place is vacant, you can't just swap out the keys, and I know you'd like to, but you can't. Now you have to post what's called a notice of abandonment.
Okay.
And that has its own time frames. I believe it's 18 days. I have to look, even I read those notices, because
Sure.
sometimes they change. And we have rules that they're changing all the time. So you're in that case, notice of abandonment. Then if they don't respond after the time permits, then you walk in and the whole house is full of furniture. Now you got to deal with that. No, you can't just have it or sell it or
Right.
throw it away. There's all kinds, depending on its value. So this rental business is a wonderful, wonderful business. It's I believe the easiest, fastest, safest way to grow your personal wealth. Absolutely, I believe that. and I've seen it work for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of my clients. But it's like any other business. You got to know how to comply with the rules. If you're going to start a candy store or a 7-Eleven or a lemonade stand, there's rules. You got to know them. You got to stay up on them. I know that most DIY landlords are going to be DIY till they DIE. So they aren't going to, and that's fine, but we're here as a Rental Owners Association to help them stay compliant.
All right. When we get back, we're going to talk to Chris a little bit more. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can give us a call, 916-269-3337. That's 916-269-3337. Back after this.
You're listening to the Real Estate Report with
All right. Okay, so when we come back in, where do you want to go? Because we'll have till about 45. And then when we come back in, the last 6 will be Mike. So
that's fine.
what would you like me to... So we got, I like this because the whole thing leads to people, if they're feeling this kind of pain, they're going to realize that they don't want to do this on their own.
Right.
So hopefully that makes your phone ring.
Yeah. We can talk about what to do now when your tenant says they're moving. There's some required notices.
Okay.
And you have to do some inspections. And
so what to do when your tenant says they're moving. So that's page 2, right?
what's that?
That's on page 2 here, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Oh yeah.
So make sure the notice to vacate is in writing. I can kind of tee you up for that. So do you have to give them some sort of notice?
Well, either they give us a notice or we give them a notice that they're going to move. And
So they have to give you like a notice to vacate.
yeah, usually in our contracts it's a 30-day notice that they're going to vacate.
And then there's a notice of tenant rights to pre-move out inspection.
Yeah, we have to give the tenant notice of right. Notice of right to a pre-move out inspection. And what a pre-move out inspection is, take our 2-hour class and we'll tell you, because that's a big freaking
Yeah. Make sure you have the tenant's forwarding address. Do a thorough move-out inspection without the tenant. That's important.
Yeah.
Return the tenant's remaining security deposit if security deposit itemization within 21 days of tenant move out. Okay. Prepare the property for re-rent. Begin advertising and showing. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. And then we'll give out your website. Maybe we can talk about the upcoming classes a little bit more.
Right. So we have classes on every one of these.
I see that. It's a full class catalog,
Every one of these
Chris.
bullet points. I think we have about 20 classes, and we probably are adding all the time. So yeah, it's
Yeah, no, it looks good. So when we come back, I'm just going to kind of tee it up to you, and we'll just Mike. Can you hear me?
What's that?
So when
Go
you
on,
go,
Mike.
we're on live, like Facebook is going. This is all the behind the scenes. It's always fun.
Yeah, Facebook's still going.
Yeah, so I always think it's funny because every once in a while you forget that you're live,
Right.
like this, and people are going, what are they talking about? So when we come back, we'll after the next break, so we'll I'll tease it and say, hey, we're gonna have Michael Fowler with the California Home Buyers Advantage program. You're not going to want to miss this because this is a unique home buyers opportunity that is only here. And
Excellent.
so, and we'll just jump into what it's all about, how to get a hold of us, and
Okay.
that type of stuff. Okay.
Perfect.
All
Yeah,
right, cool.
and I wrote out a little something there.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Welcome back to the Real Estate Report. Gosh, I like that song.
you're saying that different today. Real estate.
Real estate.
Yeah.
Real estate.
Real estate.
Well, real estate is the incorrect way to say it's not. It's real estate.
Say that fast 10 times.
Real estate. Real estate. Real estate.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go
So
ahead.
I one time I said the Real Estate Report, and one of our callers said you are mispronouncing that word. It's sort of like if you say we're heading up to the Sierras.
Yeah.
That it's just the Sierra. It's just one. It's not a multitude of Sierras.
Really?
Yeah, did you know that?
No, I did not.
I just so now when you hear it on the television, they go up in the Sierra. It's going to be a cool 55 degrees or whatever.
That sounds weird, though.
Yeah, I agree with you,
Yeah.
but I got called out on that too. So I don't make those mistakes anymore.
All right.
So anyway,
Grammar, please.
so this is the Real Estate Report,
Okay.
and we are happy that you are with us this fine weekend. And we have a couple of great people here. One is Chris Arola. He's the owner of Rent Pros Property Management Company. You can go to their website, rentpros.com, and see some of the free classes that they have with the Rental Owners Association. And you can click on that tab there. And there's this full class catalog. It's incredible. But I mean, so you've got two things coming up.
Two freebies, yeah.
Yeah, you got
Two
it
free
August 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. Attorney Thomas Hogan.
Yep.
And then on August 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. you have the top 5 landlord mistakes with Q&A.
Always
And
allow time
that's
for Q&A
a good
because
one.
there's lots of questions, and most of these turn into Q&As.
Right.
But we do want to get some information out there and then answer people's questions.
But you have this full class catalog. I mean, 6 steps to DIY landlord success.
Yep.
Invest like a pro in Northern California. The 4 rent by owner checklist. I mean, you've got all this great stuff, and it's literally a cornucopia of information for a DIY landlord.
Rob?
But you may decide that you want to let them do it.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
And you may decide, let's get a manager going. I'm going to say this. Not only is this great, this a great place for landlords, possible investors, people who own rental property, but also for realtors.
Absolutely.
Realtors who work with investors, because I got a little bit of a secret. You guys are making some pretty big mistakes too, and we talked about a couple of them before
Sure.
the air. I have a situation right now where my client is trying to sue their realtor for getting them into a property that isn't working out financially. And the basic premise is, well, they told me it would rent for $2,300, and all you property managers say the best you can get is $1,800.
That's a
That's
problem.
a $500 difference.
Yeah.
And I said, well, did he put it in writing? And well, no, but I mean, knock yourself out. But the fact is, that realtor lost a client, didn't they?
Yes.
And I see this at least twice a month, not where people are suing, but where owners are upset or clients come out and they purchased a property because the realtor said it's ready to rent, here's what it'll rent for, etc., etc. Realtors, please reach out to us. Go to rentpros.com. We have classes for you. We will give you free rent comps before you ever buy. Before your client ever buys, just send us the address. There's a form on my website that says, here's the property, how much will it rent for. Do that before you sell that to your client, before you get them excited about it, before you spend your commission, before it's there. Let's make sure it's a deal that they're going to say, this is awesome, and I want to buy another one, and my friend should buy one from you, and you generate this entire business, realtors, of investors, because investors are awesome, awesome clients. They're the greatest. They buy a property or 2 a year. And,
Yeah, they do.
And eventually, I have investors, Rob, who come to me and they say, hey, Chris, you know that property out in Folsom that you managed for me? I go, yeah, I love that property. They go, hey, can you get me another one just like it? I literally write the offer. We get it. They've never even seen it. I make sure they see it before we close. But that's the level of trust that you realtors will develop with your client if you're steering them in the right direction, if you're getting them the right resources, if you get them in touch with a team like mine before they buy and stumble. Because when they get in and they love their property that you sold them, they're going to love you and they're going to tell their friends about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's even one of the classes here you have is great investments are available in any market. And
Yep.
that is absolutely the truth.
Right now,
So,
yeah.
there's definitely some out there now, and it's any market there are great investments.
Yep.
So
And I love Sacramento for investing. I've been all over the Midwest. I've seen all that. Great. I buy in California. I encourage my clients to buy in California. I tell you, the premise I use is, Rob, if I was to give you a property in Indianapolis or give you a property in Roseville, and you have to hold it for 15 years and you can't sell it, which one do you want?
Oh, I like the one closest to me.
Well, closest to, but also California Roseville, because
Yeah.
you know what happened to that value in 15
Right,
years.
of course.
Et cetera, et cetera. So
In
anyway,
Indiana, you never know.
we're off topic, but that's you know, you
That's
got me
true.
wound up. You got a hot button.
I
You
did.
got
I
you
did.
see, I'm standing up, you know, I'm in the
I
microphone.
see you, and
Yeah.
you're kind of like your
Wound
chest
up,
is pumped out.
sweating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Somebody get him a soda or something.
let's go back to what the heck were we talking about?
Well,
here?
so we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you guys know, this is I'm Rob Lewis with the Real Estate Report. We've got Chris Arola from Rent Pros and rentpros.com. If you want to go to their website and see all these great classes by clicking on the Rental Owners Association. But so as we move towards the end of the segment, and we've got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
What do you do? Your tenant says they're moving.
Yeah.
Now, what do we do? What's the actions?
So everything needs to be in
Besides
writing. Right?
panicking, right?
Yeah,
You don't
well,
want
yeah,
panic.
you get all upset. How am I going to? I'm going to miss some rent, and I'm going to lose some rent. Okay, forget about that for a minute. And I'm saying that seriously. You know, worry about what's in front of you, and everything should be in writing. Your lease agreement should be in writing. All your notices, of course, and the same thing. If the tenant says, "Hey, you know, I'm going to go ahead and move," tell them to put it in writing. Get
Right.
that to you in writing. Right, great. You send me an email. I don't care. Send me a text. But I want something in writing that says when you're going to be out. And if I want my tenant to move, I'm going to put it in writing. And by the way, there's some rules about that and how much time you have to give them. I won't go into all that right now. Come to our classes. But there are some issues there.
And that's
So,
the notice to vacate, right?
notice to vacate,
Okay.
right?
And
And
it's got to be in writing. It can't be.
put it in writing, yeah, absolutely. And so now you know what day that tenant is supposed to be out, and they give up possession, and now you have possession back. Get rid of all that gray area. I have a short story. I promise it's short. I was out 2 weeks ago, went to a property. Owner says, "Hey, it's ready to rent. Can you come place a tenant?" Oh, great. I come out there, and I go out there, and there's this guy working on the property. And we're talking and everything, and this guy's doing his cleaning and stuff. I'm going, "Well, who's this fella?" "Oh, he's the past tenant." I said, "Wait a minute, what are we doing here?" He still has possession. And, well, he's doing some stuff, I'm doing some stuff. And I just said, "Look, you're creating a lot of issues here that you're not going to want to deal with if everything doesn't go perfect." So, folks, make sure you have that cutoff day when they are out and you are in, because you have an issue to deal with called the tenant security deposit. You have a short time frame to deal with, 21 days, not business days, but days, to figure out what has to be done, get everything done, and get that deposit back to the tenant, or at least what's left of it, and then itemize everything that you spent that deposit on. So you've got a big job ahead of you. You want a definite out date for that tenant. Also, one thing worth mentioning, Rob, when you give the tenant a notice, and I'm going to throw this out there because I've seen this happen quite a bit here lately. Summertime, tenants are moving, owners having tenants move. When you give the tenant a notice, when the tenant gives you a notice, either one gives either one a notice, you must also give the tenants a notice of tenant's right to a pre-move out inspection.
Wow,
So,
that's a
so if
mouthful.
you don't, yeah, I know, that's why I had to put my finger on it when I was reading. A notice of tenant's right, they have a right to a pre-move out inspection. That is an inspection while they're still in possession of the property, while they're effectively still
But
living at the
You
property.
do that without the tenant.
No,
though.
that one you have
Oh,
to
is
do
it?
with the
Oh,
tenant.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sound confused, right?
I know I am.
Yeah. That one you got to do with the tenant.
Okay.
But when the tenant vacates, then I'm going to do a final inspection, and ain't no way I got the tenant there then. And
Right.
they do not have a legal right to be there. And if they want to be there, the answer is no. You cannot be there because I'm doing a job. I'm checking everything. It takes 2 hours when I don't have any interruptions. I don't want somebody there going, how much deposit do I get back? Well, what about this? Or that's not dirty, blah, blah, blah. It was like that when I moved in. So all these things, and I'm going fast because of time here,
Sure.
but we have a class at the Rental Owners Association for virtually every topic we're talking about. These are the kind of things that we go over. We give out the forms, all of this kind of stuff. Go to rentpros.com. If this is at all interesting to you or something you think you need, go to rentpros.com. Scroll down, you'll click on the Rental Owners Association, and voila, click in, you're a member. You can follow us on Facebook. You'll get our notices, our newsletters and such. and start to become part of this and keep yourself up to date, Rob.
Well, thank you, Chris. So yeah, if you want to know more information, go to rentpros.com. That is rentpros.com. All the information on the classes for the Rental Owners Association are there. And then if you just want to talk to Chris and bend his ear about maybe a situation that you're having, I will guarantee you, he's like a superhero. He doesn't have a cape, but he is a superhero when it comes to property management. Do you really?
I have a cape.
I haven't seen it, but anyway. And don't go anywhere, because when we get back, we have Michael Fowler from the California Home Buyers Advantage Program. This is literally the best mortgage loan deal I have seen in my entire life. Do not go anywhere. If you'd like to be a part of the show, 916-269-3337. Back after this. Okay.
Best ever.
Best ever.
All right.
Right. So when we're gonna come back, we're gonna just go right into it, and we will have. Let me find out how much time. When are we back? I haven't seen if we've had any phone calls or anything.
So my thought was.
No, it's not here either.
Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm listening.
So my thought as far as going in, you're a leader here. You tell me.
No worries.
It's
Yeah.
just like we recognize that thousands and thousands of people want to buy houses.
I'm done. And
Yeah.
But the barrier to entry is the down payment.
And
Your folks
Yeah,
are still
perfect.
right now.
Yeah, no, and so Barry, and say, people don't. I mean, you might have a good job, you may have, this or that, but you don't have a down payment because you're working hard, you're spending your money, you're paying rent, whatever it is. Yeah. So this program. And not only that, but it has these, and so if you thought there's no chance that I can buy a home, you need to call us,
right? Because
there's a very good chance that you can, and we help people every day with this program.
Put my phone number. What's protocol here?
I would rather have them do the real estate report hotline,
perfect.
But calhba.com, and we give that over and over again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do that. Bail me out, first time here.
Yeah, no, so we'll just go back and forth, but but we're out, like it's a hard out at 56:30 usually. So we'll probably back on, and so we'll have like from 48 to 56. So we probably have like about 7-8 minutes.
Okay.
And I tried to get us right out at 45. So cool.
All right. So my thought is just kind of give it an overview.
Yeah, and it's got to be we have to talk about the miraculousness of this, because this is like a miracle. It's like the greatest thing since sliced bread for home buyers.
Exactly. Okay.
Off
the chart.
Yeah, it's like. Because it is. I mean, it truly is.
Now, if I'm not exaggerating enough, you chime in and bring it up a level.
I mean, this is literally.
We should send this out to my tenants. Because a lot of my tenants they can't rent from us. They have a 650 credit score, and so they're fairly qualified. And so something like this might be a good thing to throw out there and do a home buyers night or something like that.
Oh yeah,
that would be cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, right there's my
insurance.com.
You want to, because we could set that up, maybe do it, on a night that you're not having, one of these, but we could then we can broadcast that, and I can even do a little blurb on it for the other station. Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
Boom,
just like that.
Here's one caution, and that is this: we don't want to go. We don't want to belittle anyone for renting. Like, hey, you dummy, what are you doing renting? If my owners hear that, they'll be going, hey, what's going on? Right. But if you say, look, and I send this out to my tenants once in a while, not for a long time, but we did it when I marketed with Guild one time. Hey, we love you as a tenant, we want you to, but we know you're going to move. If you're thinking about moving, come to this thing, and they got some deals. To approach it that way, you can do it all day.
You are listening to the Real Estate Report with Brett Gove and Robert.
All right, welcome back to the Real Estate Report. We are coming down the home stretch, and you listeners, I hope you're listening, because we have a bombshell to drop. It's so exciting. So there is a new loan program out there. It's called the California Home Buyers Advantage Program. And I've got the CEO of the whole thing with me here today, Michael Fowler. And we're going to talk to you about it because this is an opportunity, because we believe that, home ownership builds strong families, it builds strong communities. And we are working with some top-notch lenders that we have a special program available. It's only available here. It's not available everywhere. It's only available here. So if you're listening now, this could be your golden moment. Mike, tell us a little bit about this California Home Buyers Advantage Program.
Well, Rob, we recognize that there was a huge part of the population that wanted to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands and thousands of people wanted to buy a house. They have the will. They're making the money. They're making good money. And they couldn't because they couldn't come up with a down payment. They're sending the kids to band practice, soccer practice,
Sure.
or what have you.
So they're making decent money, but they're spending a lot just because life is expensive, right?
Life is horribly expensive, and yet we wanted to try to solve a problem and help people take control of their home ownership. And so we think we found that solution here. This program, through the California Homebuyer Advantage Program, which you could see a lot more details at calhba.com.
Yeah, so write that down, calhba.com. That's calhba.com to get more info. But so tell us a few of the bullet points, because this is a miracle, this program, in my mind.
It's one of a kind. You
Yeah.
can't find it anywhere. If you go to your bank, you're not going to be able to find it with them. They will not know about it. You have to come through the CalHBA program, and it is no down payment. So the buyer does not have to put a down payment down.
So you're saying basically, if you're out there and you're making decent money, your credit's decent, and maybe you just don't have a lot of savings, you could get into a home with no money down.
This is the solution, Rob. People can buy homes with no money down. The bank is going to finance 100% of the purchase price. On top of it, they're going to pay the closing costs.
So the bank's going to pay the closing costs as well.
That's correct.
Okay.
This program came about through a Community Reinvestment Act.
Okay.
And we were funded with an $11 billion grant. That's a billion with a B. So there's a lot of money here to help people buy homes. Our goal is to help as many people buy homes as possible. As rent continues to increase, it's putting families into more of a bind all the time. And so through home ownership, this program has a 30-year fixed rate. So if you buy a house, your payment's never going to change.
Right.
And so that takes the landlord out of the equation and the fear of increased rent. And then on top of it, you're giving your family stability.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with renting, for sure. But if you're out there and you're thinking, gosh, I would really like to buy a home, this may be an opportunity for you to do it, because there's never been a program like this before.
There's not. And there's hundreds of homes to choose from. A lot of people think, is there only one home to buy?
Right.
And
But there's hundreds of homes in the area that are part of this program. You can go to calhba.com.
Yes,
That's calhba.com. And then if you're interested in this and you want to talk to us about it, you can call the Real Estate Report hotline, and that is 916-269-3337. That's 916-269-3337. And I just want to reiterate to you guys that this program is only available to you, our listeners, through our program. It's not, if you go to your bank, you go to your mortgage broker, they are not going to know anything about this. This is only through us. So this is a special deal just for you listeners out there. So calhba.com, that's calhba.com, or call us at 916-269-3337. You can call or text that number, 916-269-3337. The other thing is on here that I see is that there's, most of the time when you're buying a home, even if you have these special things like maybe no down payment or no closing costs, and good interest rates, you usually have mortgage insurance, which can add hundreds of dollars a month to your payment, right?
That's
this
correct.
does not have mortgage insurance.
It's phenomenal.
So it's 100% financing
with no
money
mortgage
down,
insurance.
and no mortgage insurance.
You're 100% correct.
Right, and so I was looking at one of the houses that is part of this program, and it's a cute 3-bedroom 1-bath home in the Rancho Cordova area, and it's move-in ready. And literally with this program, it looks like your payment would probably be about $1,800 a month on this program. So I mean, it's an opportunity for you that if you thought there's no way that you can buy a home, this is not the only option, what we're talking about right here either. There's several different options with this program, and we don't have enough time to go through everything. But if you're out there and you're thinking, gosh, I'd like to buy a home, I'd like to at least find out about it. Can you spare like a 5-minute phone call or tool onto a website for 5 minutes and just experience it? Try to find out. Because if you can do that and take the little bit of time, I think that you're going to find that we can put you on track if you're not quite there yet, and give you a game plan. And if you're there, you might be able to go right now, because we've had people call us on this program one day, and then the next day they were out shopping for homes. And it can happen that quick, and maybe in 2, 3, 4 weeks, you can have the keys to that house.
Absolutely.
So it's the California Home Buyer Advantage Program, only available to our listeners here. It's 100% financing, no down payment, no closing costs, no mortgage insurance. I mean, there's a lot of no's, and those are good no's.
These are all
But there's a
good.
lot of yeses to this program. And so if you're interested and you want to know more about this California Home Buyers Advantage Program that's only available to you, our listeners, give us a call, 916-269-3337. I see our line is actually lighting up as I'm talking, and I can't answer right now. But leave a message, 916-269-3337. That's 916-269-3337. Or go to the website. The website is calhba.com. That's calhba.com. Is that the good info?
That is the great info.
Awesome.
Ownership
Yep.
is real. It could happen.
It can happen for you. So thanks for listening to the show today. We appreciate it. Give us a call, 916-269-3337. See you next week. All right.
All right. You're good, man. Both of you guys are phenomenal at this.
Thanks. Yeah. The phone line is literally, I mean, I'm getting call after call, so that's good. Yeah, on the real estate report hotline. So let's figure out how we can do that with you, because if we can figure out a date, I mean, maybe could I check with him and check with Mike,
Yeah.
see what dates look good to him,
The
and
only
then
dates that don't work for me are Thursdays, and really a lot of those are open because we do our classes Thursday nights.
okay.